Hi, and welcome back. If this is your first time here, I'm Candace, and if you're a returning viewer, I'm glad that you came back. This space is an open studio. It's quiet, reflective, and unhurried. It's not therapy, and it's not about fixing anything. It's simply a place to notice through art what it's like to be human. So today I'm continuing the one layer at a time practice, working on the same surface we began together in the last video. Today's reflection is about how art can support mental well-being. So not as treatment, not as answers, but as a way of being with the experience. For many people, art becomes a place where things can exist without needing to be explained. That's what we're exploring today. Today I'm going to be using a limited palette. I'm going to be using ultramarine blue, raw umber, Payne's gray. I think that's what I'm going to use today. So today's layer is about weight. So not the heaviness in a dramatic sense, but the kind of weight we all carry quietly. Responsibilities, thoughts, emotions, expectations. So visually, I'm going to be adding a slightly darker value on what we did last time. Still soft and still going slowly. So I'm not trying to balance the painting or make it feel finished in any way. We're on our second layer, so I'm letting the surface hold a little bit more than it did before. I'm thinking I'm going to make a pretty dark and heavy layer on here. I'm going to be adding a dark valued layer. I do feel like winter kind of has a heaviness with it sometimes of expectations for holidays, getting all the things done. I feel like it can be a really heavy time of the year. I'm going to do my ultramarine blue and some raw umber together just to make a really dark value. I'm using a pretty big brush. And as I'm painting, I'm just kind of reflecting on the heaviness that we're talking about. Kind of how it feels, what it reminds me of. I'm going to go in with some Payne's gray as well. You can come up with your own colors that represent this season for you. Or if you just want to watch and listen and reflect on your own, that's perfectly acceptable. I'm not overthinking what I'm doing. I'm just kind of intuitively just kind of laying colors down. It's a very relaxing Noticing the different values within this darker value that I've placed. All right, I'm mixing up a little bit more ultramarine and Payne's Gray to add some more weight to this. So one of the ways that art can support mental health and well-being is by giving that weight that we carry somewhere to land. So instead of carrying everything around internally, all up in our minds, on our hearts, we kind of can use art as a way to lay this stuff down. So the act of noticing pressure, or weight as we're calling it in this video too, just the act of noticing the pressure, slowing movement, so I'm slowing down my brush strokes, focusing on that, choosing a limited palette, so I only have a couple colors I'm working with today. Those can all be really supportive for our mental well-being. If you're watching this and feeling tired or distracted or unsure of why you clicked, that's okay. You don't need to arrive here calm. You don't need to leave feeling different. Being present for just a few minutes here is enough. So I'm keeping my marks really slow. No fine details. Kind of intuitively doing what I feel. There's something really grounding about working this way, about not being too detailed, not thinking too hard about what you're doing. As we close today, I'll leave you with one reflection. What feels heavy right now, and where could you let it rest just a little bit? This is where I'll leave this layer. Thank you for being here and continuing this process with me, one layer at a time.